Hey, back again with some more monster stuff I picked up. I got the two big Halloween blow molds from Cracker Barrel, and don't have them lit up in this, but I'm gonna do some Halloween videos probably in October, and I think I'm going to do one that features my blow molds, and I'll include these in that, and they'll be lit up for that, I guess. But anyway, they're pretty cool. I wasn't going to get them because I had heard that they were sold out on the Cracker Barrel website, and I wasn't going to jump through a lot of hoops to get them. Certainly wasn't going to go the secondary market route because people are wanting like $100 plus shipping, on eBay. And that's just crazy. I don't do that. But I got these from Cracker Barrel. I saw a YouTube video where somebody was, doing a review of these things, and I'm really into Halloween blow molds, so I figured I'd, check on it. So I called my nearest Cracker Barrel, and sure enough, they had them. So drove over and got them. They were $40 a piece, and they were still in the original shipping boxes. The girl on the floor there went back to the storage room, and she brought them back out to me. So I'm pretty glad to get them. They look good lit up. The plastic is a little different from the original blow molds. The older blow molds, they usually had that soft plastic, and they had a little different appearance. This plastic on these is a little more rigid, but I think they look okay. And as long as you can get them for, if you're into the Halloween blow molds, as long as you can get them for $40, I think it's worth it. At least it was to me. So I'm glad I was able to get those without going to a lot of trouble or expense. And they're a little cartoonish, but that's kind of in in the style of most Halloween blow molds. Even the older ones. I know a lot of people that are into the Cracker Barrel stuff from Halloween that's coming out now are into those ceramic, like that ghost with the lantern and the witch with the lantern. I never was really into ceramic anything. I mean, I just like the plastic blow molds, and I guess it goes back to, I grew up with that stuff, and I never collected the ceramic stuff, and I'm just really not that interested in it. So the ghost and the witch and the ceramic, they look good. They're like $60 a piece, but for me, for my collection, I had rather have these. So I'm glad I got them. But anyway, moving along to the next thing, I ordered some more Stexe monsters. And yes, I'm now pronouncing his name correctly. I was calling it Stexe, but he told me that in a message that it's actually pronounced Steeks. So we got the Shuggoth soap. There's the little box for it. Here is the Shuggoth soap. And no, I will not be using that as soap. It was like $10. And, I mean, I'm into Lovecraft, like most people watching this probably, so all about the Shuggoth. And I just put that on the shelf with everything else, and I've got that by my Blob soap. So it'll just sit there just like a figure or whatever. Here's a free thing he threw in. I think this is one of his cryptids. But it did not come with a cryptid card. It just came with a little sticker in a bag that advertises his novelties. So I don't know which cryptid this is because I actually looked and his website is not showing any of his wares right now on Etsy because he's taking a vacation. So anyway, it's one of the cryptids, I'm pretty sure. Now, here is the decorated box for the first series of the small creature features monsters. And here they are. There are 5 of them. Here is the hot dog monster from Horror Party Beach. Actually, let me try to block off the back so you can see this a little bit better here. Yeah, mouthful of hot dogs. And you know, these are pretty cool. They're only, I don't know, a little less than 2 inches tall, but here's Beulah from It Conquered the World. The fearsome creature that Beverly Garland kicked over with her foot and laughed. Of course, that was not when the cameras were rolling, but thought that was pretty funny. Beverly Garland. She's a fave. Okay, here is the prehistoric giant mollusk, or one of them, from The Monster That Challenged the World. And that's, you know, another good likeness. Stexe does good works, or does good work on these figures, even the small ones like this. And the Crawling Eye, aka the Trollenberg Terror with Forrest Tucker. Cool figure. The Crawling Eye. You know, that's a good movie. You know, I mean, it got the MST3K treatment, but it's straight up good. I think some of the Hammer people were involved with that, like Jimmy Sangster, maybe. This is Tobanga, the tree monster from the movie From Hell It Came. It's pretty good, Tobanga. It's got something there on his rear end. That's some kind of a blemish there, I guess. Maybe it got burned a little when, I don't know what that is. We won't dwell on that. But anyway, not a bad Tobanga. And he's got a second series of these small creature features figures. Each series of 5 is $30. And the second series has more of the 1950s, you know, the famous movie Bee Monsters, you know, like the Saucer Man and all that. And I'm probably going to get those too at some point. Okay, here's the last 2 items. I don't generally do Blu-rays on this channel, like reviews and stuff, but I wanted to get these for sure because I'm a big fan of Euro horror, especially Spanish horror. And this is The Other Side of the Mirror by Jess Franco. And this finally got a good release. And there's the back of it. Before I ordered this, I was trying to see the back of it on a couple of videos, and people kept waving it around. Anyway, when that focuses correctly, you know, you can freeze that if you want to. Just pause it and get all the info on it. Or you can go to Mondo Macabro. Well, I don't know, that Mondo Macabro website is kind of out of date, so I don't know if you get much on there. But anyway, this is a Spanish-French co-production. It was released in 1974. And now I've heard some people say that they have seen it on bootleg, but I never saw this available on bootleg, or I would have picked it up. This stars Emma Cohen. She's a fave. She's enchanting in this movie. And, you know, you either like Euro horror or you don't. It's slow-paced. It's ambiguous. You know, it leaves you guessing sometimes, and it straddles the line, you know, between fantasy and reality a lot of times. But I love it myself. I mean, I love Euro horror. And Jess Franco, I mean, he has made some really excellent movies, and that's one of them. That's one of his best. He's also made some, especially in the latter part of his career. I mean, he was so prolific, but in the latter part of his career, like in the 90s and beyond, uh, a lot of it just looks like half-ass porn. But it's still kind of entertaining and alluring, you know, even for its shoddiness. Now, the earlier stuff, especially stuff like that, The Other Side of the Mirror, I mean, it's just, he made some really awesome movies. Anyway, check that out. Oh, yeah, and I got one more thing to say about this. It's got a lot of special features. It has a commentary, and I always check out special features, whether they end up being good or not. But the thing you definitely need to see, if you get this release, is the 56-minute interview with Stephen Thrower. If you want to see into this movie, see the heart and soul of this movie, watch that interview. Stephen Thrower knows Jess Franco. I mean, he wrote a book on him, literally. Okay, now the other Blu-ray, The Witch's Mountain. This is a favorite of mine. I mean, the only way I've been able to see it is on a really crappy print that was available in a public domain multi-pack of DVDs, probably by Mill Creek, I think, on a couple or three of those. And somebody uploaded this thing to YouTube at some point. But, you know, and even so, I mean, I just loved it because there again, you know, it's that surrealistic, weird quality that good Euro horror has. A lot of it is borderline nonsensical, but, you know, it's art. It is taken different, it's subjective. It depends on who's watching it and what they like and what they put into it and how they see it as to what they get out of it, you know. And this has Patty Shepard in it, and I love anything with Patty Shepard, you know. I mean, she is one of the best Euro horror hotties in my book, and she could act too. I mean, she was good, just like Emma Cohen. She probably didn't have the range of Emma Cohen, but she was still a good actress, and she was uber hot, so, you know, win-win there. And she was in, you know, in the States, it was called The Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman. The uncut version of that, I've gone into this before in some of my videos, but the uncut version of that is La Noche de Walpurgis, or The Night of Walpurgis, and it's known as Werewolf Shadow. That's what they called the video release, and that name kind of stuck. But she was also in, you know, some other cool stuff like The Crypt of the Living Dead with Teresa Gimpera, also known as Hannah, Queen of the Vampires. So they could put it on a double bill with Simon, King of the Witches in the 70s. And a lot of these movies have several different names. But this is a great release. It's a real pleasure to finally get to see this movie, you know, from a good print. I mean, and everything's there. There's nothing left out. There's nothing lost or questionable, like, you know, like with The Mummy's Revenge. Like, what happened to those nude scenes? There had to be nude scenes at some point. But this, you know, it never was shot nude. There never were any nude scenes. And also, this has Victor Israel in it. You know, and there's a picture of him there. Kind of like he had the Marty Feldman eyes thing going on, but he was really a great character actor. I mean, he was like the Euro horror equivalent of a Michael Ripper for Hammer or a Vic Diaz for the Filipino movies. I mean, he was in a lot of stuff, and he usually played some kind of a sinister role, or maybe you know, an innkeeper or something. He just plays an innkeeper in this, but he's like comedy relief, but it's not over the top, hit you in the head comedy. It's kind of subtle. And you know, this is a great movie. I mean, there again, subjective. really dreamlike. Uh, the opening leads you to believe that it's going to be something really over the top and brutal, but it's really subtle, you know, and it's really well shot. It was directed by Raul Artago, who was a cinematographer, and this is one of the few movies that he directed. And I mean, it's just beautifully shot in the mountains and around the lakes there. And you know, it's just a quirky, fun movie. It's always been one of my favorites. Anyway, you can get these really a good deal on these things. There's a seller on eBay that's selling The Witch's Mountain for man, it was like really cheap, like $16.99 or something like that. And the same seller had The Other Side of the Mirror Blu-ray for like $12.99. I saw that after I ordered from Diabolic DVD. And I really like Diabolic DVD, but they can't compete with, you know, people that really cut the price and sell in bulk and stuff like that. It's a small operation. But with Diabolic DVD, they mailed the Blu-rays to you in like a cardboard mailer that's really sturdy, and there's almost no chance of the post office being able to crack a case. Like, if you get it cheap on eBay or whatever, chances are they're going to stick it in an envelope and shoot it off to you. Now, that's not the issue it used to be with DVDs. A DVD case is much easier to crack than a Blu-ray case because it's bigger. The bigger something is, the easier it is to, you know, to crack. And also the plastic seemed like it was more rigid on most of the DVD cases. This is soft plastic here. It kind of gives, you know, with the blows. But anyway, there you go. That's not a whole lot of stuff, but I figured I'd chime in with something here. And I will probably put a link to my previous Stexe Monsters video in the description of this video. And like I said, you know, in October, you'll see those blow molds again, along with all the rest of my blow molds. I'll do you know, it's not for the most. I've got some that are a little bit expensive, like some of the haunted houses and all that, but I don't have any of the real high-end stuff. I've got a repro of the Clinton Plastics Glenn Strange Frankenstein bucket, and I'm not going to give $1,000 for an original one because usually the ones you see are cracked. Anyway, I'm droning on, and I will hush. That's it for this time. See you guys later. Keep on monstering.